there's something brewing in the Gulf, and this is something we've been doing for months now on KFDM, live streaming here on the Facebook page. And it started out talking, obviously, about the pandemic and the at-home part, because many of us were working from home. And this is one of those I wish I could just skip, I'll be honest with you. And I always, these are much more casual than a newscast, because I'm not sitting on a set. This is my house. I'm Dan Gresham, morning show host for KFDM TV, and have been for a long time. And in fact, I was looking this morning because I was just curious. This is the 12th hurricane, does not count tropical storms, 12th hurricane that I have covered while working mainly at KFDM TV, the 12th. And I think I'm coming from a place where a lot of people are. I'm weary. I am storm weary. If it's not a tropical storm, it's something else. And honestly, I'm having a hard time steeling myself for what is about to happen. First of all, those of you who are veterans of hurricanes and you've been through the scenario before, you know that landfall is just the beginning. That's just the start of it. If it were just landfall, endure everything that comes with that, and then it was over, that would be easy. It's the fact that landfall, you have to endure that, and it's usually a pretty long, scary, hard, fatiguing night. And then you get to go outside and see what's really wrong. I don't know. And if you have not been watching this morning on KFDM TV, if you're not aware of the things that have changed overnight, there's some good, some bad. The good is that it looks like the track has changed a little bit. Let's go ahead and go over to KFDM.com. This is actually the Facebook page. And I saw that Greg Bostwick had just loaded this in on our Facebook page. Let me see if I can not just get that to come up full screen so you can see that a little bit better. There you go. Let me read you what he says. Laura continues to intensify. This was 6 minutes ago. It is now a strong Cat 3, 125 mile an hour winds, higher gust. Expected that Laura will become a Cat 4 hurricane later today. Laura is slowly turning more to the northwest with a gradual turn to the north late this evening. Landfall will likely be just east of Sabine Pass near Johnson's Bayou very early Thursday morning after midnight. Weather conditions will begin to deteriorate late this afternoon with winds to hurricane force this evening. Highest winds expected near Sabine River, gusts to 130. Less wind can be expected the further west you go. Rainfall totals to around a foot can be expected. At this time, the maximum storm surge around 20 feet will likely impact Cameron Parish. So again, if there's anything that maybe is a little bit better, is the fact that instead of coming straight in, going north and then coming straight up, this is at least coming in at an angle that may be more along the Louisiana coast. But the thing is, it's still going to track right on up through, and you're going to have hurricane force winds, on each side of this thing. So, again, this is all I can see is the formation of this storm. That is just unbelievable how defined, what an eye there is. And that's a well-defined storm. That is, you see the inflow, the outflow, the symmetry. It's pretty classic, and it is continuing its march. Do not get caught up in this idea about exactly pinpointing where is landfall going to take place, because the width of the storm, the hurricane winds are going to be on both sides of it. Yes, you'd prefer to be on the east side of this storm. On the west side of the storm, not on the east side of the storm. And I don't know. I just not. This to me is I'm more anxious and nervous about this hurricane than I've been about any hurricane, and I think that's natural. I think if you've been through one, then you kind of have an idea what to expect. And if you're not nervous from that, or if it doesn't make you anxious, you're cool. You're cool. You're I don't know, ice running through the veins. I'm not that guy. I am not that guy. But again, we're going to do our best to keep you up to date on what's going on KFDM, KBTV. We will start our coverage about the same time that we start getting some of these major rain bands, and we will do it continuously. If you are watching on the internet, which obviously you are because we're live streaming on Facebook, but I mean, if you're watching the television station on the internet, stay with it, because we're going to, as long as we have power and we have a huge generator, as long as we don't lose our tower and we don't lose everything, then we will continue to broadcast. Yes, we are staying. Yes, we're in our building. We have been told that it's up to 140 mile an hour winds, sustainable winds, that it shouldn't be an issue. So I guess we're testing that. But we will be there. I want to show you, if you are not, have never been to what's called Stir TV. Let me bring that up on the screen for you. STIRR.com. Stir.com. STIRR.com. It's a great way to watch. When it loads in, you'll be able to see, you get to select the city that you want to watch, provided it loads in. Let's try reloading that this morning. So anyway, it's waiting for the request to come back. But the point being, this is one of those good places, there we go, that you can go. It'll say suggested cities, and it should pick up off of your computer that Beaumont would be one of the suggested cities. Then you can go down sooner or later. It's very slow, and I think it's probably my computer and probably my internet at this point. But you will see that featured cities will pop up, and you'll be able to go in there and pick Beaumont, and you can watch KFDM. It's really pretty simple. It's a lot simpler than it's looking on my computer this morning. But again, just might want to jot that down. There you go. So see, it says suggested cities. It has KBTV and it has KFDM TV. When you put KFDM TV in, it will pop up. It will say morning show, whatever, live coverage, tracking Laura. There are different things. But once you click into Beaumont, you'll be able to watch it just like you were watching TV at home. Smart television, you can do it on the internet. You can do it by downloading the app. You can also just go to the browser. In your browser, go to stir.com. All right, stir.com. And there's your choice. Let's get to some questions this morning, and I'm sure there are a lot of them out there. I think we answered one. David Jones, where's the storm at? And I'll show you again. That's the what we call, I think it's called 1 minute satellite imagery, and you can see the. But if you want to get a better idea of, let me see if I can go back and get you to the tracking map. And I'm not sure it's going to pop up, but there you go. That's also another image of it at kfdm.com. And you can go in there and they'll take you through the entire thing. They'll walk it through. Remember that these the numbers and the information, the coordinates, they're updated hourly unless there's some reason to come back and update it more often than that. All right. So I hope that answers your question, that you can go to KFDM, you can go to the Facebook page, and you will be able to see the track, and we'll continually update it as well. I hope most of you, I have to think most of you, driving to work this morning and then coming back just a few minutes ago, Beaumont is pretty much a ghost town. I mean, I'm sure there are a number of people who stayed, but there are not that many. It seems like there are certainly a lot of folks gone. I hope that if you know somebody that is staying, that you will, you still have time to leave. First of all, urge them, unless they just physically can't go, that the best course of action is to get out of here. If you can, go. If you're not, then you need to be prepping. And because, as I said earlier, with a storm like this, it's not just about impact. It's not just about the initial landfall. It's what comes after that. When suddenly you don't have power, you don't have water, you don't have, and I'm not saying that's going to be that way for everyone. I'm just going to say people that are impacted by the brunt of this storm, You know as well as I do. Think back to Rita. Think back to Ike. It was days before power was restored, not to mention every tree laying across the road. So many people think, oh, well, I'll just run back to the house. I've evacuated, but I'll just come. I'm just not sure, if that will necessarily be the case. It's a real good chance that you may be waiting someplace for days or weeks. And if this were to be a real Category 4, it could be even longer than that with the infrastructure. I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I'm trying to be a realist, that this is what we're potentially facing. It's never easy. And this will not be easy either, I don't think. Someone asked, are you seeing rain in Beaumont yet? No, the sun was shining when I just came in. It may not be, but it's breezy. But no, the sun is shining. Somebody else asked me, is Comus Neal far enough to evacuate? No. I say that because I don't know if you've seen these models that they're talking about, and I don't know if I can get this one. I don't think it's going to pop up there, but the wind surge models, and I'm not a meteorologist, I'm just a guy that sits next to them. But from what I understand from talking to Greg, the winds are so intense, wrapped around this thing, and it's moving at a forward speed so fast that it's not going to just dissipate once it hits land. In fact, they're saying there's a possibility of hurricane force winds in the lakes area. So, Comus Neal's up in that general, headed north. So there's a good chance if you're up at the lake, you went to Rayburn or something, or, hey, I've got a house. That's fine, but don't be surprised if you don't get into some pretty tough weather up there. And this thing will just keep on trucking. They're saying by tomorrow afternoon that it will be all the way into Arkansas. That's how fast it's moving. So it won't be sitting over us. It's not going to be one of those things where, it's going to waffle around and it's just going to dump, 20, 30, 40 inches of rain. That's not this storm. This storm is going to be a windstorm. This storm is going to be a surge storm. So if you were watching this morning and you're one of those people that you live on the bayou, that you live on the river, and that in times past, when you get a storm surge, it creates a problem, you might want to be prepared to face that problem again. Because there's a real good chance that, with this thing coming up where Greg is talking about this morning, that you will see a considerable amount of storm surge coming up the river, saltwater intrusion coming up that direction. Now, the bulk of the surge at this point looks to be in Calcasieu Parish, from what I'm understanding. Cameron Parish, I'm sorry, Cameron, not Calcasieu, but Cameron Parish. And again, the further east it drifts, the better it will be for folks in Texas. The further east it drifts, the worse it'll be for folks in Lake Charles and in all the Louisiana parishes. And don't wish this on anybody. But again, it is coming. It's not something apparently we're going to be able to escape. So we're going to stay vigilant. We're going to do all we can to give you the information. We're going to try to stay on the air as long as we can. We're going to point you in all the different directions that we possibly can so that you have good information. And when this thing is through, we're going to tell you what's happening here. We'll try to, I'm bringing my camera. I'm going to try to get out and take some video. If nobody else does, maybe I'll be able to show you what's going on, some of the damage. And again, I think I need some rest before all this really begins. So that being said, know your sources. Facts are fuel, that you can use to make wise decisions. We're going to have to exercise a whole lot of patience, I think, over the next at least couple of days, and maybe we'll get a better handle on this thing. And who knows? Maybe something intervenes. Maybe this one passes from us, but it's not looking that way, and it's not very likely. So we have to deal with the reality. I want to thank you for your time this morning, wherever you're watching, and all of you. I see your post, I see your questions, I see your comments, I see your concerns. I will read them. I'm just not sure I'm ready to read them at this moment. Here's the bad thing about it, and I'm sure you guys are probably like this too. It's like I keep having things pop into my head. It's like, oh, I need to do that. Oh, what did I do with those rubber boots? Oh, put the chainsaw in the truck So when you go to work and you try to get home after this, maybe you can. Oh, what about, it's just endless. That's why I think I'm tired. I could not shut it down last night. I kept thinking of one more thing. Oh, get that bottled water. Oh, what about putting that in the freezer? Yeah, all those things. All right. And again, I can't say enough how much I appreciate your spending some time with me this morning. And I will do this as often as I possibly can. It may not be that I'm at home doing it. It may be me holding, and my phone and I'm on Facebook Live, but I will do my best to try to keep you up to date with what's happening in your hometown, in your community. And also, you do me the favor to reach out. As we always say, reach out to people that might need a little bit of help, a little bit of reassurance, people who are going through a little bit of anxiety today, people who are saying, I don't know if I can do this. You can be the one who says to them, you can, you have to, buck up. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna get through this, and get your rest, be ready to go. And again, we will start our live continuous coverage on KFDM and KBTV, I think around 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. My turn is at 11 p.m. tonight. I will be there for landfall, apparently. So we will join you there. We'll keep you as well informed as we possibly can. Again, thank you for your time. Be safe, and we will talk again soon.